Hello YouTube, it's Barbara Jean. This is my second attempt at making this video. Hopefully the trolls won't get involved with this one. So, it seems like such an innocent subject, but you know what? Satan doesn't care. Anything that talks about God and loving God, or knowing God, or knowing who we are in God, is enough to make Satan angry and try to stop us. So, anyway, I wanted to show you something that I didn't show you in my last video about my treasures, my earthly treasures. This is something that just the Lord showed me just recently. Okay, now this embroidery was one I didn't show you in my last video. It's one of my all-time favorites. Actually, it was the last one I made, the last full big embroidery or cross stitch I did. It's a woman who is holding a baby. This is one of the hardest ones I did. It was one of the smallest ones, like the figure, the flesh areas were even smaller than the regular squares. They're like half the size. Really, really, really tiny. So that was one of the last ones I did. And I want you to notice something I just noticed a moment ago, was that there was a crown of 12 stars around her head. I had no idea there were 12 stars. I just found that out. Isn't that one of those strange coincidences? So anyway, I'm going to read a verse for you from Revelation chapter 12, starting at verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, in pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Okay. So now I wanted to show you what the Lord just pointed out to me just the other day. I was lying in bed, and I was looking at these little figurines that I had bought at a local drugstore. Now, I bought these about 3-4 years ago, and when I saw them, I just thought they were just so adorable. But there was a set of 12, because they represent every month of the figurine for every month of the year. Now, I couldn't afford them at the time. I thought they were too expensive. So when they went on sale, I went, woohoo! So I picked up, they were, because it was a clearance bin, so there wasn't the full 12 set, the set of 12 that was available, but there was about 9 available. So I picked them up, and I was going to buy all 9, but then I thought, I think I'll just buy 7. Okay, I think I'll just buy 7. So I went home, and that night I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I think I'm going to go back and get those other 2 that were available. At least I'll have a fuller set. So when I went back the next day to get those other 2 that I didn't pick up, guess what? They weren't there. So I said, okay, well, I guess I'll just have to settle for these 7 figurines. So they've been sitting on my dresser, on a shelf on my dresser in my bedroom for the last 3-4 years. And every time I look at them, they make me smile. They make me feel happy. I just think they're just adorable. And I want to show them to you. Now, I'm going to show them to you out of order, because the Lord showed me something about these little figurines, and that I didn't notice before until he just pointed it out to me. And the Lord is he just shows us in funny little ways that we don't expect, that he's in control, that he's part of our lives, that he's got a destiny for us. And anyway, I'm going to start showing you what the Lord showed me. This is January. I want to show you what she's holding. She's holding a baby. It's a figurine of a woman holding a baby. In the baby's hand is a snowflake. The Church of Ephesus. Purity, white. She's holding the snowflakes washed with the blood, washed in whiteness. She's pure. She's a woman who really wants to be pure for God. But also, snowflake represents coldness or cold-heartedness. You know that this church had a problem with loving its brethren. Okay, this church still has a problem with loving the brethren. They're all about purity, but they have problems with love, with forgetting their first love and having a cold heart. It's Ephesus. The next one I want to show you is April. This is the church of Smyrna. It's a baby. She's got a milk bottle in her pocket. The baby is still on pablum, is still on milk. She's a suffering church. She has an umbrella to absorb the rain that's falling, the veil of tears that are falling, the suffering, the persecution. The baby is holding the umbrella. She has to go through suffering. She's being persecuted. She's in sorrow, grief, but there's hope, and there's the salvation and the covering of the Lord. Okay, Smyrna. Next one I want to show you is the church of Pergamum. Pergamum, we know, had a problem with the Nicolaitans, which we know has to do with Santa Claus. Child abuse. They had a trouble with bringing in idolatry and pagan worship. So when we think of Pergamum, we should think of Christmas. So she's December. Again, she's holding a baby, and what has she got in her hand? The baby she's got in her hair, she's got holly in her hair, and she's got the baby's holding holly. Okay? So, holly, Christmas, Nicolaitans. Isn't this bizarre? The tree of knowledge of good and evil, holly, paganism, pagan worship, Pergamum. Next one I want to show you is the church of Thyatira. She's the works church. Now, when I think of Thyatira, I think of Martha Stewart. Okay, I want you to look at this baby, this woman with this baby. She has a hat on her head. She's out there. She's in the field. She's working. She's keeping herself covered. She's keeping herself protected. And she's got a baby holding flowers. On her dress, she's got flowers too. She's out in the garden. She's a worker. She's bringing in the harvest. She's bringing in the fruits. But also with this woman, she had a problem with Jezebel. Jezebel is a woman who was into witchcraft, and she tolerates the woman. So the flowers can either represent the works, the fruits, or can represent the witchcraft. So the woman Jezebel. So she's the woman of the church of Thyatira. Next one I want to show you is, of course, my favorite. Oh, no, not my favorite. Is July. And she is the church of, what is she? Oh, hold on. I have to go back. I have to find it because I can't remember. It's gone out of my head. I think I've got them out of order here. Pergamum. Not funny. I don't remember. It's gone out of my head. I had it in front of me now because I'm all frazzled by the silliness of the Sardis. She's Sardis. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I couldn't remember. July, she has the reputation of being hot, but she's actually cold. She's lifeless. She has no life. And I want you to see something. July. This is the one I got for July. She's actually the church of Sardis. The baby's holding a star. The star is a 5-pointed star. 5 stands for grace. She's barefooted. All the other ones have shoes on. She's the only one who has no shoes on her feet. And she, of course, she's relaxing at the seaside. She's not doing too much. She's too hot to do much. She's lazy. She's lazing around. She's living in grace. And she's forgetting she has to work. Even when it's hot, she needs to work. Even though she has a reputation of being hot, she's not doing her job. Okay, so that's that one. So that is the 5th church. Now my favorite, of course, is the 6th, which is Philadelphia. She is represented by February. And we know Philadelphia had a problem with weakness, that they had, even though they were loving, they were powerless. And but she's a church of love and brotherly love at that. So here we have the Church of Philadelphia. The baby's holding a heart. She's got a bag full of heart. So she's got charity. And she is notice that the baby, I don't know if you can see that, but the baby's foot is actually broken. That one right there. The baby's foot is broken. So the baby is having trouble because, so it can't walk. It can't walk. It's not able to get its job. It's powerless. So it's got little strength. So interesting. I never noticed that the baby's foot was broken. And then the last is Desiya. And she has a reputation of being rich, but she's poor. Doesn't realize she's poor. She goes through tribulation. And I want you to see this one. This is interesting. She's got a fancy hat on. And the baby's holding a rope. She's got a purse beside her, and it's windy. It's turbulent. She's the bride that goes through tribulation, and the baby's holding a rope, meaning that she's going to be led into captivity. She thinks she's rich, but she's going to go through tribulation, captivity, persecution, because she's not hot for the Lord. So I just thought that was very interesting. Like I said, it was just one of those funny little coincidences that the Lord just showed me recently, that in my life there are no coincidences. Like everything in my life has been pointing to the fact that this is my calling, that this is the last day calling, to help the bride, to show the bride that we're in the last days, to get ready to take the scriptures seriously, to receive Jesus Christ, to get the infilling of the Holy Spirit, know that we're in the last days and we're getting ready to go home. Praise the Lord. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think it's kind of been a fun little video, and I hope you enjoyed it. God bless.